Guns blazing, better watch your back before the cops attack. Yo, it's the 365 vlog. I'm bringing it back. Let's go. So hello people, today is July 5th, 2016, day 187 of the 365 vlog. We're going to talk about guns. So it's the summer, and usually around this sort of time, people get guns a-blazing because they get hot-headed, because the heat gets to their heads, and that is a really sad thing, and that's not exactly the message of this video, but it's definitely going to be a part of it. So it's really sad because over the weekend, I think today's the 5th, another person has been lost to police brutality, and that is just like one of the messages inside of this. And a lot of people will say like, oh no, all police are not bad. And I wonder this because there have been a lot of incidences that we can see where the police have used excessive force to harm people of color in a certain way. And I'm going to talk about like black males specifically because this is one of the things that just seems to be a reoccurring thing. Not saying that they are the only victims of this, but it's definitely one of the cases. And you know, what's really interesting in each of these cases is that the media in themselves tries to twist the story to justify death. It seems like because they dig up anything to turn up the story to a certain way or hit an angle that the viewer who is watching will also be inclined to believe that the police were in the right to actually do what they did, when that is not necessarily the case, but is just a twisted story to make it seem like it is so. Reminds me of the ending of the season of Orange is the New Black, the most recent one, season 4, where the warden had to make a decision about whether to follow the story that they have created to paint the officer as a villain or to stand by him, something to that effect. And it seems like it relates back to a lot of the stories that we hear now where cops use excessive force on people of color, and how at the end of it the people of color and everyone else in the prison, these are spoilers, I'm sorry, felt like they were just like betrayed and there was no sense of justice. Time and time again I always hear that people are like, oh, this system was never created for us, and that is very true, and I'm totally down for that. I just believe like it's a horrible thing because there's nothing good that comes out of this. This is just showing that more so that people in the system or cops definitely will harm people of color, especially males. I'm not saying that this does not happen to anyone else. This is a very firm point I want to make, but it's just because I am also a black male, this shit scares the shit out of me that I can be killed for doing absolutely nothing. What's even crazier is that it will be justified just by maybe one aspect of my life, or it'll be flipped over and made out to be that the cop may be the bad guy, and that never happens. The bad guy is never the cop because he is supposed to be the good guy. He's the symbol of peace, justice, and order in our society. And I can't understand this because the system of racism is very intrusive and insidious. That is something that has never been broken, like I said in a couple of videos ago, that is something that is there and is permanent, but it is hidden. And also, if it is so insidious, that means it has seeped into our justice system, as we can see many times with maybe the Trayvon Martin case and all of these cop abusive cases, that these men who have these guns are definitely the ones who are gonna shoot you, and it's because, not because of race, but just because you were a bad person. And that's also just another part of this whole subject. Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. I don't agree with the All Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter because these are the people who we see getting attacked, and that is not even to account for all the other people who have to suffer through these travesties at the hands of policemen. And it's interesting because most points, these policemen are conditioned to think of African American males as they should fear them the moment that they approach them, and that in itself is also a racist mindset, but that having lingering in the back of their mind with their trigger finger really hot will cause a lot of deaths, and I don't understand how anyone can turn a blind eye to it and not ever see that it is a thing. This shit's been bothering me something real fierce because I can't actually like think properly. It's actually been like this death, I don't know why the others didn't faze me like this one, but it's just really hitting me because I guess like it just keeps happening, and it's happening with fervor, like it's not stopping, and nobody wants to admit fault towards the cops because it's always the victim the victim is the perpetrator, and that just doesn't make sense to me. It's like America, when you're in here, they want you to have it both ways. You gotta stick to your stereotypes, and if you're not your stereotypes, you need to go back to being that because there's no other way for you to break this mold, especially when we need to write this narrative, especially to keep our order, white order, new white order. You know, they always say NWO for like New World Order, but I think it's New White Order. They got that shit mixed up. I'm not saying I hate white people. I'm just saying that definitely at the end of the day, there's a lot of privilege being gone around. White people do not have to suffer a lot of these injustices and get off because of a stigma that is not associated with them, because they are the creators of a system. And since they've created this system, they do not have to feel all of the ramifications it is being inside of it. Therefore, they turn a blind eye to it. And thus we have all these deaths. Keep this video real short right here. I'm gonna end it right here, but this is not the last time I'm talking about this. This will come back within this week. Even if it is not like a regular daily vlog, it will be a side vlog that I will talk about, because this is not over. Because all too often we forget, and not forget, but just it gets phased out because of the news cycle, and it becomes silenced that all of these people die. I'm not going to stop talking about this because I want to talk about it with it in more depth, and just thinking about a lot of the consequences and ramifications of living in America and being a black male, or just being a person of color in America in general. But thanks for listening, guys. If you made it to the end of this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you like what you saw. Also, tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think about like these shootings when it happens to black people versus when it happens black people and people of color in general. Let me say that. I'm trying to make sure I say both of those. I say black because I am black. That's another thing in and of itself that bothers me. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'll talk to you next time, guys. Peace. Bye. Because there are a lot of people who would argue that we live in a post-racial society, and that is not the case, because there's way too much racism going on in many ways, and I feel like it all comes down to maybe like financial racism, but I'll talk about that in another video for another day.